and welcome back to Victoria's Creations. In this video, I want to show you guys how to make a llama stuffed animal. So, it's a llama, so who doesn't want a llama? But in the video, I'm going to be making it out of this cotton fabric, just so that you guys can see what it looks like. Because when I made him, it's hard to see what I'm doing, because he's so fluffy. So with this fabric, you can actually see where I'm putting the stitches and where I'm pinning it. So let's just jump right into the video and start making our llamas. So for your llama, you're going to want to make sure that you get half a yard of whatever fabric you want to use on the outside. So I had this really fluffy fabric that I used for the first llama, or you can use cotton. So you want half a yard of that. Going to want to get something to use for his pouch. So it can be anything you want. You really only need a very little bit. You could actually use a fat quarter for that. And then some batting or just some fleece for the padding on the rug piece that goes on his back. For his face, I used craft paper. So I had a white craft paper and brown craft paper for his mouth and face. I also used contrast fabric for his ears and his underbelly and his tail. You don't have to. Like in this one, the tail and the ears are the same type of fabric. And then if you decide to do the hand stitching on the eyes, you'll need yarn and a needle. Or you can do what I did with little toy eyes. You will also need some elastic or some string. And that's going to go on the rug to keep it around your llama. So let's jump into the steps. Make sure you cut out pattern pieces 1 through 9. For number 9, because it's your blanket, you're going to want a different fabric. So I got this little llama fabric. You can use the same for both sides. You also need a piece of fleece for it. For pieces 1 and 2, you're going to want to use another different color. So for this one, I used some craft paper for the face and some more craft paper for the mouth. You can get these for like 13 cents at Walmart. And then you'll need half a yard for the rest of your llama. So get all those cut out and then we'll start putting it together. Because I'm lazy, I'm going to use these for the eyes instead of stitching the eyes in. I also have plain black ones that I'm going to use for the nose. These you can get on Amazon in all different colors. So if you're lazy like me, you can just do this, or you can hand stitch the eyes and mouth on. So step 1 just tells us to cut out our mouth applique on here. So we've already done that. So now it's going to tell us to attach our mouth to the head. So we're just going to move these. You're going to line this up, center it. And then you're just going to do a zigzag stitch around here. And just make sure you pick a thread that you like with it or a matching thread. So let me do that and then we'll move on to the next step. So I'm going to set my machine to a zigzag stitch. Every machine is different. Mine, I just hit the plus sign 3 times and I get a zigzag. And now I'm just going to zigzag this around here. So there I have that. And let's see what the next step says. So now it also wants us to put our eyes on and our noses. So here's where if you don't have the eyes, you're going to have to hand stitch these in. But again, I'm super lazy, so I'm going to go ahead and pick out a black one for my nose. And I'm going to do blue eyes. Actually, let's go with green. That'll be a cute llama. So before I do that, we're going to make a dart for the nose. So how you do that is you fold it in half, right sides in. You just stitch the opening here. So where you have that hole, you're just going to do 1 stitch right along your cut. And this is going to be a straight stitch, not a zigzag stitch. And when you open it, you can just press your seam to one of the sides there. And then when you open it on this side, you have that. So now I'm going to put the nose right in there. And I'm going to put my eyes in. So let me do that. If you've never put these in, they're really easy. You're just going to snip a little hole. You got to go through both layers. So I got a little hole there. Poke your piece through. And then on the other side, you'll have this little piece. You're just gonna push it on. And then it gives you a little nose. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the eyes, and then we'll come back and work on the next step. Okay, so we're on step 3 now. We've put our eyes in, we've sewed our piece on, we've made our dart seam. We're now gonna attach the head to the front body part. So right sides together, you're just going to place him over and just stitch. So let me do that. So now he's gonna look like that. A little odd, but it'll come together, trust me. So step 5 would just be to be finishing up your actual stitching on top of your markings. Now we're going to move on to doing the ears. So we're going to put him to the side, and I'm going to get my ear pieces, and then we'll show you those. So you should have cut out 4 ear pieces. So let's get these set to go. So all you're going to do is you're going to stitch all the way around with right sides together for both of them. Now that you got them sewn around the sides there, you are going to clip your sides. So don't clip through your stitching. Just make little clips all the way around. So when you turn it right side out, it doesn't pucker. Just gonna get rid of that guy. Now you're ready to turn it right side out. So here we go. And you have 2 ears. So it wants us to fold it and baste it now to give it, like, I guess, a signature llama ear look. You can skip this part if you want to. I will do it for the case of the video. So you're just gonna take your ear. You want your tips pointing in. You're gonna fold it partially in, not all the way. And then you're just gonna baste across. And if you don't know what basting is, it's just where you put your sewing machine on the longest stitch it has, and you don't back stitch. So that way, if you have to remove the stitching, it's super easy. So I'm gonna switch this to a 6 stitch length, and I am just going to baste across it. And then when you open it, you get like that little curve in there. So let's do it on the other side. Okay, so we have our ears basted. They got their little curves in them. Now we're getting ready to baste them to the head. So we're going to take our headpiece again and our ears, and we're going to match them on this piece. So if you have this piece handy, now lay it flat on your head, and these big circle dots are where we're going to line up the ears. So we're just going to take our ears, fold them over, and just pin them in there. Now I'm just going to baste across again. Move your pins. And now you have llama ears. So we're done with this for now again. We're going to move on to piece number 6. So I have my piece 6 here. And all it wants us to do is to make the dart for the top piece. So you're just going to take where you made that V, fold it in half, and just stitch across it just like we did with the mouthpiece. So then it'll look like that when you turn it. And we're not going to do this one just yet. We're going to leave it for now. So I have piece 5, and with right sides together, we're going to line them up. Now that I got it all pinned, I'm ready to stitch. So I'm going to stitch from the top down to the little V we cut, stop, start again, and stitch to the bottom. So we have it stitched, and it just wants you to finger press these open. My fabric doesn't really stay when I finger press it, and I'll do the best I can. And that's the best I can get to stay open with finger pressing. So now if we're looking at our pattern, 12 and 13 are for body type B, so we skip those, and we're going to go to 14. So now 14 wants us to do the tail. So it doesn't tell you how to do the tail, like how to sew the tail together, but it's the same as the ears. So let me grab our tail piece. So I have my tail piece, and we're going to stitch around our one side here, leaving the bottom open just like we did with the ear. And we're going to clip our sides again, just like we did with the ear, all the way around, not clipping or stitching. We're ready to turn it right side out. So there's our tail. So now we're going to baste it into our body pieces. So you're going to right side your guy out here. So you're going to have a hole right here. So take your tail, line it up on the bottom of the butt. And then you're just going to baste across that part. Don't catch any of your other stitching or any of your other part of your body there. We're going to inside them back out. And now we're going to make our dart seam. So you're just going to take your hole, bring it together, and stitch across with a regular stitch. Now when we inside them out, there's little tail sticking out. So now we're ready to move on to step 16. And this is where we're going to attach our headpiece. So I have my headpiece with my ears. I'm going to keep my ears folded down. Oh, and before I do that, I want to make sure I inside this guy out again, and I'm gonna clip all the way through. It doesn't tell you to do that, but if you don't, you're gonna have a lot of puckering. So now when he's right-sided out, he's not gonna pucker anymore in the neck area. So let's grab our headpiece, and we're gonna line it up. So you basically just kind of line it up so that it matches on the bottom. So let me pin the bottom first. So he's all lined up. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see I've lined them all up. So now all you're going to do is to stitch all the way around. So let me do that. Okay, so you got your llama all sewn. Now again, on the head, you're going to clip around your stitching. So when you pull it out, you don't have any puckering, and make sure you don't get over your stitching. Now we're ready to attach the bottom. So grab your number 8. So with your right sides together, we're going to line up our 8 on here. Take this part of 8 and line it up on your front body section. So just like this. So now it's ready to stitch. So you're going to stitch around your 2 sides that come to the point, leaving open the flat side. So the side that's connected to your neck, you are going to leave open. So let me stitch that. So if you stick your hand in there, or a few fingers if you can't fit your whole hand, you shouldn't be able to pop out the back there. So there shouldn't be any hole. So now we're ready to turn him right side out. Okay, so now let's get him stuffed, and then we'll be ready to stitch the opening closed. So my llama stuffed. Now I have to close the opening. So we're just going to do a slip stitch. So we're going to just fold it in a little bit. And then I'm going to slip stitch it. And there he is. Now we're ready to make the llama blanket part. So you're going to need 2 pieces of string cut to the length of the blanket. I'm going to put those aside for right now. Some fleece. It could be fusible. Doesn't have to be. Mine is just a little piece of white batting. And then your 2 pieces of the blanket. So first you're going to take one, flip it so the right side's down, and we're going to take our piece of fleece, we're going to place it on there, and then we're just going to baste around it there. So again, we're going to make it to our longest stitch length. We're going to baste all the way around. Now we're going to put on our pieces of string. So you're just going to take them, lay them across. So if they're not elastic, you're going to want to make them a little longer so that you can fit it around your llama. I'm just using this cute little string I have on hand. And you're just going to stitch it in place, so you don't have to stitch all the way around, just over the pieces with a normal stitch length. And to keep it in place, I am going to pin it so it doesn't move on me. So I left a little loose here, and now I'm just going to stitch them in. Now just take your other piece, lay it on top, and then just stitch around all of them, leaving a small opening on one of the sides for turning it. Clip your corners. Go ahead and turn it. And now to close my opening, I am going to do just a top stitch all the way around. And I'm going to, just to switch it up a bit, I'm going to use a zigzag stitch to make it look cute. You could also, if you didn't want to do the top stitching, you could slip stitch it, but I don't like slip stitching, so I avoid it as much as possible. So there's your little top for him. So now you can just put it on him, so you just slip them through here. And there he is, with his little rug. So here's the llama that we just finished in our video. Here's the one I did with the nice, pretty, soft fabric. So I hope this video was easy for you to follow. I hope you had fun and you're going to have a cute little llama to play with. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. I am going to be having a video on this dress coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. And thank you so much for watching, guys.